Hello everyone, welcome back to The Budget Sportsman. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. As you can probably tell, I'm not in central Pennsylvania where I normally film. Today I am in central Florida. I'm down here doing some work and visiting some friends, and so I thought I'd bring along some saddle hunting equipment to test and review while I am in the warmer climate. So today I'm going to give you my first look at the XOP Invader platform. Now before we dive into the review, there are two disclaimers that I want to give you that I hope are pretty obvious. First of all, XOP did send me this platform for review. They're not paying me or telling me what to say in any way, shape, or form. As of now, this platform is yet to be fully released to the public. I believe it's going to be available, I think in May or June, something along those lines, certainly well before next hunting season. Now the second disclaimer I want to give you is that, again, obviously this is an initial impressions review. I just got my hands on this not too terribly long ago and certainly have not had a chance to put it through like a real hunt. It's not hunting season right now. I just got a chance to play around with it on some different trees, different size trees, different barks, and I'm gonna give you my impressions just from that little bit of initial impressions and playing around on a few different trees. All right, so let's dive in and take a look at some of the basics about this platform that you're gonna know before we even get it on the tree. First of all, this platform is advertised at 2.9 pounds, and as the industry standard kind of goes, that is without the included cam buckle strap. Now on my scales, and I weighed on two different scales several times, this actually came in right around 3.1 pounds. Now, am I disappointed in that? Well, yes and no. I wish that we could get accurate weights in the industry and not have to wonder about the accuracy of the weights that were given from manufacturers. However, really, I don't think that extra 0.2 of a pound or so is going to be a big deal for this size platform and the weight and the size of it. I think it's overall a pretty nice package at a very reasonable and portable weight. One of the things that's really obvious right off the bat that you're going to see from the pictures, if you've already seen it online or you're looking at right now, is that this post comes up significantly from the top of the platform. You know, a lot of other platforms, when they fold up, this post is about flush with the top of the platform. And the reason for that is the back of the platform is here and the start of the post is almost the middle of the platform, not quite. Now, I know some of you guys have some concerns about this. I'm going to put it on a couple of trees. I'm going to show you, and I think you're going to get a pretty good idea for it. Overall, so far, I'm not disappointed. It grips the tree really well. One of the downsides to this for me is that this makes a much larger overall profile for the same size platform as some others that are on the market that overall fold up into a smaller package. Now, the next thing that you're going to notice about this platform is that this is a machined aluminum platform. At least that's what I'm told, and it certainly appears that way. You can tell here, you can see the machining marks at places. That is really great because you don't get the voids that you might get in a cast aluminum platform. The other really awesome thing about this platform that you can tell right off the bat is that it comes coated, painted, anodized. I'm not sure what all the coatings are. There's a different coating on the post than there is on the platform and the standoff. But overall, that's a big help. A lot of the platforms on the market today come bare aluminum, and for me, it's just a hassle to try to paint it. I've not had the best success of getting paint to stick really well to some of these aluminum platforms, and so I really appreciate that it comes coated from the factory. Now, the platform itself and the standoff also have a super grippy texture to it. It's almost like they coated it with sand in the coating, but whatever they did, it's a super grippy coating on there. Now, another big thing that you're going to notice here, and this is one of the things that really attracted me to this platform, are these big V notches on the side that are going to help you push around the tree to make any shot you need to. I'm going to show you that in more detail when we get it on a tree, but overall, I'm going to just give you a spoiler alert. I am pretty impressed with those so far. Now, a couple more things I want to point out before we go and get this on the tree. First of all, you're going to notice two slots right here, and those are for an aider, a webbing style aider. I think that's a pretty interesting addition. You certainly could use this as a one stick if you wanted to. You might even be able to take this off and put on a cam cleat there if you were creative enough with it. However, I'm considering using it with just adding an aider to this to give me a little bit height when I'm climbing with a 3-pack of climbing sticks. Without carrying an extra stick, with just a little bit added weight for an aider, I'm going to be able to add maybe another 4 or 5 feet to my overall climb. Another thing you're going to notice is this notch here in the front. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have not entirely figured out what this is for. I'm assuming it's for their stick attachment method for some of the sticks that they're coming out with. Initially, I thought maybe it was for a rappel rope. If you were trying to use this as a one-stick climbing method, that you could put your rappel rope through there and kind of hold it to the tree. However, it's a little bit too small. I'm wearing a saddle here with an 8mm bridge. The 8mm rope does fit in there, but it almost snaps into place. And with the grip on the platform, I feel like it would create a little bit too much wear. So I don't think you would want to use it for that purpose. I'm guessing this is more intended for the stick attachment method. All right, so now that we're over to the tree, I want to show you a couple things I've discovered about this platform before we even climb up onto it. And the first thing I've discovered is that this platform cams onto the tree a little bit different than a lot of the platforms on the market. And again, the reason for that is because of the way this post is set further out into the middle of the platform. So when you fold it up to the tree like this and you pull the strap tight and then go to cam it over, you actually have a further travel for that post to go in order to get a cam onto the tree. And what that does is if I set it just like that, I fold it up flat, pull the cam buckle strap tight and go to set it, you're gonna see, at least on this tree and on several trees that I found so far, I can't possibly cam it over that far. And so I can kind of lift up to create a little bit of slack in the line, or even in this case, I actually have to loosen the cam buckle strap just a little bit, get those teeth digging in, and then in that case, I can get it to cam over, and it's not quite all the way cammed over, but once I put my weight up there, it will certainly cam over just fine. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve when you get this platform to probably get it set right every time the first time, because it is just a little bit different than what you're used to. This case was sort of extreme where I had to actually loosen the strap. Most of the trees that I have tried this on, if I just pull the strap tight but don't really shove it down really hard, that is sufficient for me to be able to get it cammed over and still get a good solid cam. I mean, I'm not even cammed completely over yet. It's going to cam a little bit more. My weight's on this, but this is very solid on the tree. Now, a second thing that I wanted to point out about the platform is the angle of the platform. Now, I've been a big proponent for a long time of angling your platform down at an angle to give you the most comfortable experience in a saddle. I find that if my platform is straight, I'm on the arches of my feet, that hurts, or I extend my ankles out like this and I start to get pressure on my heels and ankles. In fact, I've got a whole video about that on my channel. I'll leave a link for it somewhere up in the corner. So I wanted to just point out that this platform right now is angled down as far as it would go. I've got the leveling bolt, which runs up and down in this case. I've got it back down as far as it will go. And this is pretty much as much of an angle as I can get on this platform. Now, it is a little bit of an angle, but it's not quite as much as I typically run. Now, what I haven't tried yet that I'm considering trying is actually taking this bolt out completely. Right now, it's still sitting right here underneath this little ledge of the post, is sitting on the head of that leveling bolt. So if you took that out completely, you would get more of an angle. The downside of that is you lose the ability to adjust the angle at all, and you're just going to be stuck with what you got. So if you're like me and you like a steep angle, that's something to consider about this platform, is that you're not going to get as much angle as you might on some other platforms. All right, guys, so I'm up on the platform now, and it is rock solid on the tree. I did want to mention I am going to run it right now level, because I know a lot of you do run it that way, but I was testing it earlier slanted down, so that'll give us a good comparison of both ways. Now, when I step all the way out on the front corners, I do feel just a little bit of flex. Nothing that makes me feel like I'm unsafe or like I'm unstable, but I just wanted to mention that you can feel a little bit of flex. When I have my feet more solidly on the platform, man, it just feels really, really solid. Now, when I go to push around the tree, these big V-notches, man, they just feel like I can really get my foot into that V-notch and just swing right around the tree and be able to make any shot that I need to. Now, you're gonna notice what just happened right there. And some of you had this concern in looking at this design. And as you can just see, this was not scripted, not planned, but I put my weight on the far back part of the platform, which is behind the center post. And you can see that that platform actually did kick up a little bit. Now, in my testing earlier, so far, on a bunch of different trees, this has only happened to me on a very small tree. This is the first time it happened to me on a tree of this size. But you can see that that did pop out a little bit in the back. I'm back on the front, and it is back in place again. Now, again, moving around to the other side, that big V-notch, man, I can just get my right foot in there as I'm moving to the left side of the tree, and I just feel like, man, it is solid on there. I've been using another platform. I guess I can just go ahead and say it. I've been using the Predator platform for a couple of years, and I love that platform, and their little wings are great. But in comparison, the wing is only maybe 1.5 inches or 2 inches long, whereas here you've got a big old notch to get your boot into, and I feel like it's really makes me feel a lot more stable around the tree. Now, you saw it slip out earlier. I've got it set here pretty tightly again. I want to just try to put all my weight on the backside of that platform and see what happens. Okay, I've got all my weight on the backside of the platform now. I'm bouncing on it and it's not kicking up. So this may be an area where you're just gonna have to learn how to get it set properly and get it good and solid on the tree. But it is something to be aware of, that if you don't have it set right, that you could you could kick up that platform if you're on that back side. Now, I tend to not be on that back side a whole lot, but the way this platform is designed, you are going to end up putting that left foot back there toward the back side of the platform when your right foot is in the notch, and vice versa as you move the other way around the tree. And that's where you could get yourself into a little bit of trouble. I also tried a bigger tree, probably 18, 20 inches in diameter, gripped that tree really well. I did put it on a tree that was probably about 4 or 5 inches in diameter, much smaller than most of us are going to climb very often. It gripped that tree really well, but that was the tree where I did have more problems with it kicking up when I put my weight on the back, but that was also a very smooth bark tree. All right, so before I give you my conclusions on this platform, I did want to show you one more thing, and that is what this platform looks like with an aider attached. Now, I have my custom gear modification aider here. This is a 3-step aider. And if I remember correctly, I had him show the spacing 18 or 19 inches on the step spacing. And that's giving me a little bit over 6 feet to the platform here. And I don't have my first step set super high off the ground. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and climb this. I'm gonna give you sort of some thoughts as I climb. Now it does feel like it's pretty far away from the tree. However, that makes it really easy to get my foot in. And as my foot is low here, it swings in easily from out here into the tree. And as I climb, again, very easy. I don't have to wiggle around to get my foot in or get that step in underneath the middle of my foot. Now, the only time that starts to become an issue is as I get up here to the top. I can still get my foot in easily, but it feels like I'm fighting just a little bit more to swing that aider into the tree. Really not bad at all. Maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but overall, that's my thoughts as I climb. And there, in one move, essentially, I'm about 6 feet up. So again, I suppose you could turn this into a one-sticking platform, or you could do like I intend to do, which is just put an aider on this platform and use it for a little bit of extra height when I'm climbing with climbing sticks. Without carrying much extra weight at all, I'm gonna gain really, well, an extra 6 feet of height here by just simply attaching an aider to my platform. All right, so what are my conclusions on the XOP Invader platform after my initial testing? Well, there are a bunch of pros to this platform and some cons as well, and only you can determine if this is the right platform for you. But I do want to end this video by going quickly over my list of pros and cons. First of all, on the pro side, this is a machined aluminum platform, and I should have mentioned it earlier, but the metal of this platform has a lifetime guarantee or warranty from XOP, and I think that's important to note. Another thing to note here is that it comes coated. I don't have to paint it. I don't have to do anything to it. It comes ready to go right out of the box. And I also should mention that the grip on this platform is really, really nice. I've really been appreciating that grip, and my boots just seem to grip it really well. I am curious to see how it will perform in wet conditions, whether or not there'll be any squeak or squeal on this platform, but I don't expect there will be. I just haven't had a chance to test it yet. Now, another pro in my mind are the aider slots, and I do intend to use those in the upcoming hunting season. Sure, you could put aiders on other platforms, but the fact that this is a dedicated spot meant to do that, and that they're not going to slide around, and hopefully this has been tested to know that you can put that kind of strain on the outer portion of this platform, I think that definitely deserves being mentioned under the pro category of this platform. Now, if I was to give you my personal biggest pro to this platform, it is the big V notches on the sides. It just gives me such a great big place to put my foot into to move around the tree, and I've really been enjoying that. And that would be my biggest pro to the XOP Invader platform. Now, on the cons list, I would say there's 3 that come to mind. First would be the leveling. I do prefer to have my platform leveled or angled down a little bit more than this has given me the ability to do so far without taking the bolt completely out. Is that a deal breaker to me? Probably not, and probably shouldn't be to you either. It's just something to be aware of. Now, the second thing I would mention as a con would be the fact that for the size of the foot area that you get with this platform, it is a little bit less packable than some others on the market. And the reason I say that is because you have it sticking up like this. Other platforms on the market fold up almost flush with the top of the platform, making it an overall smaller profile. That was something that became evident when I put it in my regular saddle hunting backpack and brought it out here to do my filming today, is that it just took up a little bit more space and I had to pack it a little bit differently. Is it a deal breaker? Again, I don't think that's a deal breaker, something to be aware of. And then the final con that I would mention is just the issue that you saw on video when you put all of your weight in the back corner, that you do have the potential of that platform popping up. Now, while it didn't happen to me a lot today or a lot in my testing, it did happen a couple of times, and it does give me cause for concern because I certainly wouldn't want that to happen in a hunting situation where I was trying to position for a shot and then the platform shifted on me. Certainly not something I would want to happen. I'm guessing that as I learn exactly how to get this platform set solidly, that it's not going to be an issue, because as you saw later on, I bounced on it quite hard and it did not shift at all. But it does give me cause to say, okay, I need to learn how to set this platform properly and be able to do it every single time so that it will not shift no matter what. Overall, I do think this is a great platform offering from XOP. It's really good to see XOP getting into the saddle game and offering more solutions for the mobile hunter, especially those who like saddle hunting. And I think overall this is a much better offering than the old XOP Edge, which, while it was a really solid, well-built platform, was very, very heavy. So to have a more lightweight mobile solution at still a relatively reasonable price of about $200, I think this is a great option from XOP. Let me know what you think of this platform down in the comments. And until next time, remember to get off YouTube and get outdoors into God's great creation.